All right, welcome back to episode number 8, Chaos to Command. I am your host, Alex Rogers, former Navy SEAL turned entrepreneur, jiu-jitsu athlete, and now podcaster. Have the privilege of interviewing some of the coolest people in the world. Today's guest is no different. We have Mike Crowson, and he builds two things most people think they can't build at the same time. That's a business that runs on systems and a body that runs on discipline. Mike is the founder of ARFunnel.io, where he's helped hundreds of coaches turn scattered leads into predictable revenue. He's also 5 weeks out from stepping onto the bodybuilding stage for the 16th time. And he leads every single one of his bios with the same 3 words, man of God. This is a conversation about building structure in your business, your body, and your faith all at once. Mike, thank you for being here. Let's get into it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you being here. Let me come
Of course.
on and share what it is we do. And if we can help somebody today, man, it'd be a good day. So.
I'm absolutely sure that is what we're going to be doing here, and much longer after today too. So, thank you. Yeah. So we'll start with it. So you said 5 weeks out now from your next bodybuilding show. You're no amateur to this. This is your
I've done it quite some
16th show.
time. I always make the joke. I was double retired. And then until my wife decided last year, she's like, hey, let's do a show. And I haven't, every show I'd done is, let's say, previous to her, because I've been married 2 years. And I started when I was 19. I'm 36,
Okay.
so got some time on me.
Yeah.
And then so I decided to jump back in and did it. I did a show 14 with her, and then I won. So I was able to do nationals the next week. So I did the national stage, got first call outs, which means worthy of being recognized in the very beginning. And then from there, we didn't win, so I didn't give him a pro card, but I was like, man, like I could maybe take a stab at this. So we're doing North Americans, where I'll be competing in the open division and the masters division, which is 35 plus, along with the bodybuilding division, which is also 35 plus. So we're in it right now.
Yeah, that's a lot. So what's a normal day look like for you?
Well, I'm a husband and CEO founder first, bodybuilder kind of last. Even though sometimes it might not look that way, but that's how I try to treat it. What typical day looks like is I'm usually up at 5 a.m. Eating by 5:30, going to the gym by 6, showering at the gym, being at our office here at usually around 8:30, running here until about 6, and then going home, spend time with the wife to then get up and do it all over again. From a meal perspective, it's kind of the same every single day. So as boring as it might sound, chicken rice, beef and rice, eggs and oats, fruit, all weighed to the gram.
Yeah.
Pretty consistent, yeah. And then I travel on the weekends, at least I have been, because we're doing bodybuilding booths and shows. So we're going out and marketing on behalf of the company. And of the last 14 weekends, I've had one weekend where I slept in my own bed. So I've had to bring all my food with me, and I just having to get the steps and the workouts on the road while working. So been putting it in.
Yeah.
It's been trying, but at the same time, it's also a blessing, and I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to do so.
Yep, like that saying, what a blessing it is to be tired for the things we've always wanted.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So how would you describe yourself in one sentence?
God, one sentence, huh?
Yeah.
Describe myself in one sentence. I would have to say that sentence would have to include hardworking, disciplined, and gratitude. So a really grateful 36-year-old man that is very hardworking and applies discipline across all facets of his life.
Phenomenal. That was good. That was a tricky one to fit that all in a sentence. So well done.
I'd have to attribute that to how I was raised. My dad,
Yeah.
um, dad had his own excavation business, dirt work, and so I was forced paid child labor
Yeah.
um, my
Yeah.
entire life. So every summer was work, weekends were work, and I didn't know what a real job was. Didn't know that was a thing. And so for me, when I'm not working, I feel like I'm just not creating or doing something at times, which is, I'd probably say my biggest attribute, and also would say is my biggest downfall.
Yeah. Double-edged sword. Right there.
Everybody's greatness is also their biggest weakness. That's how I view it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a workaholic, which means obviously like I get a lot done. We're able to build really cool things. At the same time, like, am I going to do it alone? Because I won't let other people inside my life. So I try to find the balance of. It's not usually a balance from a week to week perspective. It's usually a pendulum swing where it's
Mhm.
like we're in the season of business right now really hard, and then layer on bodybuilding, which takes out date nights. And so it's like the the personal side of relationship is suffering in comparison to those in this season right now. Luckily, my wife like gets it, understands it, sees it, and
Yeah.
then she's actually more now of like, how can I help support you? As we know that this isn't going to change, but so let me help you versus fight you against it. And then I already told her is like when these shows are done essentially this year, next year is an us year, and we'll make that pendulum swing essentially back over. Um, Probably really far, and then try to make up for some of that essential missed time, and then you'll find a balance again. It's just that's the
Yeah.
entrepreneur swing.
Right.
And bad things happen when it stays too far in one direction. So it's got to move.
Yeah. For sure. Yep. So yeah, tell me about the AR funnel. What was the chaos season that pushed you to build that?
Man, we've had a few different seasons of chaos in the business. I would say when we started, it was its own because it was so new. So I was a co-founder of Rye Supplements and had an e-commerce coffee brand. We did 10 million in sales. I had a e-commerce agency that we managed 20 something plus clients at a time, over 100 that we worked with. And then we started this new company, and I'm like, okay, here we go. So basically, I got a divorce and then started this new company. So I bought the other ones from her because we were partners in it. And so it's like now I'm tackling it alone and throwing in something new. And then just for that year was pretty chaotic of just trying to build something new while trying to also manage these other businesses and then trying to sell them, and just all that becomes a lot. And I
Yeah.
think that for us, the clarity was I needed to sell everything and focus on one thing and one thing only. I think too many entrepreneurs, guilty, obviously, is I need to do multiple things. And realistically, what you're doing is if you do two things, you're only giving each of them 50% of the effort and energy that you could, which means they're going to grow twice as slow. But you got to manage two Instagrams, two sets of employees, two different taxes, two different this. It's stupid. You're new to business. Why would you try to tackle two at the same time?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tried to tackle three
Yeah.
and was also working on a fourth one. And I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So what I did was I basically just like eliminated everything and said, I'm going all in on this one thing and nothing but this one thing. Lo and behold, it's been the most successful thing we've done.
Look at that. Yeah. Awesome. So what
Focus
would you
is the word there.
yeah, there you go. So what did that teach you? I guess you just said focus, but let's like, expand on that.
Sure. So what it taught me was that everything besides one thing is a distraction. So for example, if your only job was to be a husband, how great would you be? You'd be a pretty freaking good husband.
Yeah.
But when you got to be an employee too, now you can't be as a good a husband.
Yeah.
But then when you try to now throw in being a dad, and then you want to throw in, let's say you want to play a sport or a hobby, you're going to start playing golf at like a pretty aggressive level. It's like each one of those things pulls you away from being the ultimate husband. At the same time, like you've also got to do things for you. You've got to essentially also provide. You got to also be a father. It's like, do they have overlay? Yes. But if I wanted to be the very best husband I could be, then I should focus solely on doing that. So why would I think that the business would be any different? So
Right.
if you focus on one business and you get really focused on it, you have a much higher success rate that if that is your bread and butter, that is the only thing that you focus and do. It becomes difficult to do that while you're also still working a 9 to 5 while you're starting a side hustle. It becomes really difficult to do that when you already have all these other things that you're doing. You want to tack on something new. So you can't, you say you can't. Most people just don't start a business and quit their job at the same time, like sink or swim. It's like,
Yeah.
that's stupid. Don't do that. Because why would you think it's going to be successful? No one person ever talks about their success of like, yeah, this is my first company. They go, no, let me tell you about my first one. In fact, I almost forgot what it was because I've started so many since then. So the first one's always going to suck. 99.9% of people's first business is a trash fire.
Yeah.
And then you just get better and better as you learn more and more skills. So you'll learn more though if you focus on one versus trying to be distracted and focus on others. It's like trying to watch 2 YouTube videos at the same time. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So with that, I assume you built some sort of system or had a structure that you followed.
Every day we're working on building and creating better SOPs, whether that's for leads coming in, whether that's making new sales, whether that's operating, whether that's onboarding to content creation, to managing employees, to helping other people set up systems. Without a set system in life, you're going to really struggle because you're flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
And let's say that as a fitness coach, you were going to tell somebody that they're hiring you to lose weight, right? Do you think the likelihood of them finding success is higher if we have a plan on when we're going to go grocery shopping, when we're going to cook the food, and then actually cook the food and then actually meal prep it, or waking up and saying, all right, these are the calories I got to hit the day, and then walk out the door and wish them luck? Like, odds are that's not going to go very well.
Right.
Because it takes 10 years to become the expert in which you can do that on the fly. I could do that on the fly. I've been eating the same breakfast for 2 decades.
Yeah.
I've eaten thousands and thousands of birds. Like chicken, should be my middle name. I can eyeball and tell you how much something weighs because I've weighed that many meals. I'm good enough to do that. But that's just like in anything in life. If you do not set up a system so that you can become proficient and good at it, you're going to really struggle actually becoming good at it. And I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Well said. So what do you, I mean, that's a lot of dedication, 2 years or 2 decades, excuse me. And like clearly, whether you meant to or not, just that amount of focus on being able to eyeball that stuff. What do you think that costs you personally? Maybe financially, mentally, relationship wise?
I think the question becomes for me not being in shape, what would that cost me? I think the real question is what is the benefit of being disciplined? What is the benefit of a system versus not having one? I think that sometimes a lot of people focus on the negative of it. Well, me being in shape and healthy costs me what? Drinks with the boys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not getting enough sleep because I made poor decisions on a Friday night at 2 a.m. How many more times should I be in the hospital because I was sick because of just eating poor food with low nutrition value? So I think that for me, it's like, what did it cost me? I think it cost me a lot of mistakes that I didn't have happen. I think the benefit of actually being that disciplined would be more of a gain. If I had to say anything from the work ethic standpoint, I could say that there's some things I've cost me. At the same time, my business wouldn't be where it's at without it. I think the question there becomes, do I care more about societal standards or my own? Work-life balance. Describe that to me. What is that?
Yeah.
Where's that line is only drawn in the sand by the person that's drawing the line. So I don't necessarily believe that there's a balance to it. I think it's finding a partner that understands it and wants to be a part of that balance. Otherwise, you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and that shouldn't be together in the first place to begin with.
Yep. It's I think Jocko Willink says, "Oh, discipline equals freedom." So, yeah.
I could definitely see how that definitely applies. You can't have freedom without discipline, because it requires you have to become disciplined enough to build something great that creates it.
Mhm. Yeah, and look what it's done. You get to, yeah, sure, you didn't maybe all that travel, you didn't get to spend much time in your own bed, but you were doing what you wanted to do. You weren't getting told by some other grown man what to do. You had that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've just for the record there. So, I've only had one job ever, like an actual like 9 to 5 job. I
Mhm.
did some odds and ends stuff, but essentially, I
Yeah.
worked for a startup supplement company for 2.5 years out of the last 17 years of working for myself. And besides that, it's just figured out on my own.
Right.
I guess working for my dad's one thing, but let's just call myself an adult going forward.
Uh-huh.
I was uh I worked a catering job where it was like very odds and ends, like 2 nights a week, 3 times a week. I wouldn't consider that to be a 9 to 5 per se, obviously. And then I did some fitness modeling stuff where I would go get paid per job that I got back when I lived in New York. But the only like 9 to 5 I had where somebody was like, be here, do this, was just for that brief period,
Yeah.
which was much needed because I learned a lot about
Right.
marketing and things like that. But yeah, most of my stuff was made from trial and error and not giving up. Took me 10 years to make 6 figures. And now we generate that in about 10 days. Much different life
Yes.
mentality. I
Uh-huh.
didn't hire mentors and people like that to help me along the way as I should have.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read my first book until I was 31. I just wasn't raised to do the research. I was raised to just get my hands dirty
Yeah. Yeah.
and you'll
Yeah.
figure it out. And there's a lot of repercussions that come with that. But there's also a lot of good that comes from it as well.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I can feel you there with the figuring it out and how I was raised by my dad was very fitfo, and that did well for me um in the military. That was my only real job. I had some odds and ends stuff too. That's why I made the comment like being told what to do by another grown man. And like since I got out of the Navy a little over a year ago, May 29th, 2025, I'm just like, I don't ever want to do that again. I love my time. Being a SEAL was awesome, but I'm just ready to do my own thing. And so that's why I
Sure.
love hearing what you're saying about just kind of doing it and just never giving up. And I'm working on getting the mentors. And I mean, even this is very helpful for me. So, and I'm sure it will be for many others. So very cool.
Well,
So
dude, I
thank you for
appreciate your
giving.
service first and foremost.
Yeah.
Um, and with that being said, man, I think with the entrepreneurship and learning and whatnot, it's just falling forward. I think a lot of people don't do something out of the fear of it not working. Well, it's not
Mhm.
going to work. Why
Yeah.
would it? You're
Yeah.
new.
Right.
Like everybody that's starting a business is going to suck. Why would you think that's going to be fantastic?
Hmm.
But the quicker you can realize it's going to suck, the faster you'll get the suck out of the way
Yeah.
and you'll get better. But if you
Absolutely.
put off talking to your phone to make a reel for 3 months, you're 3 months behind you getting over the suck, because when you do start in 90 days, it's still going to suck.
Yeah.
So start
Yeah.
sucking sooner and you'll suck less faster.
Yep. Exactly. That's right. So yeah, let's talk a little more about not sucking. You've optimized funnels for what, 600 plus coaches. What's the number one mistake you see coaches make with their offer?
The biggest mistake I see coaches make, period, is none of them do enough talking to their phone and building trust through their content. So no one's going to buy from you until they buy into you. No one's going to buy into you until they understand what you sound like, your tone, your cadence, your personality, your beliefs. What do you stand on? What are you against? What are you for? Until those things happen, no one's pulling out a credit card, especially if you have a service, right?
Mhm.
If we're selling this shaker cup, it's like, nah, maybe not as needed. But if people love me because of who I am, more people will go support me.
Yeah.
So unless the product is a sham wow, probably not going to do that great without a voice behind it.
Right.
And even then, they have the best telemarketer people on TV possible selling it.
Yeah.
So voice is very, very, very important. And if you don't believe me, would you rather watch a $2 million Nike commercial that took 3 weeks to film, or Michael Jordan talking about the new shoes he's going to launch in 30 seconds on an Instagram story? I'd rather watch Jordan talk about the shoes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot recently as I'm trying to get into coaching myself, is just build trust, build trust, build trust, put yourself out there, fail forward, all these things like
If I
I
don't know
should
your
know from the
story,
military.
your hardships, what you're going through, what you've been through, what your goals are, what's your journey, what are you working towards,
Hmm.
why would I trust you? Because the
Right.
way you look? No, that's an influencer. That's not a coach.
Right.
I know people that have hundreds of thousands of followers that struggle to pay their bills because they just look good.
Yeah.
It's just not enough anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, that leads my next question then. So walk me through the difference between a funnel that captures leads versus one that actually converts.
Okay, great. So I think that one that gets leads versus one that converts. So there's different parts of a funnel in any business. Okay. That's going to create a nurture sequence to then convert. So converting is message, the actual funnel going down, receiving different pieces of nurturing information. Let's say it's a sales call, the sales call itself, and then the onboarding process. So many of those pieces of that funnel can break or need to be optimized. Getting in leads is really just the top end of it, which is messaging. And for example, let's say that this guy's got 22-inch arms, huge arms, and he posts a lot of arm content. And he was like, if you want a free arm ebook, comment the word arms and I'll send it over. But he sells diet, nutrition, and training. That's $400 a month. The problem is that people that want bigger arms typically are going to be like 20 years old, which means they can't afford a $400 a month service. Because realistically, the guy that's 35, he doesn't want bigger arms. He wants a smaller waist.
Yeah.
Very few guys at 30 are like, I want cannons. They're like, I don't want a keg, is really what they're saying.
Right.
So it's right messaging to right person. So he's getting a bunch of leads, but they're not converting because the ideal client that would buy your service is not the person getting the leads. Another example of this, the girl that posts nothing but her butt cheeks on the internet gets a bunch of people that come in, lots of leads and eyeballs, but you're trying to sell women training, but everything you're posting is for the male gaze. You're attracting ideal client, selling the wrong product. See that all the time too.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
this is chasing vanity on both sides while not understanding who I serve and how I serve them, because all leads are not equal, but leads are better than no leads.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. So I would imagine that's a good place for someone starting out to get some reps in, get some work their sales pitch and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean, practice obviously is going to be great. But for somebody that is like, you have to understand who you're going to serve. Who's your ideal client? What
Mhm.
content are you going to create that attracts that ideal client and educates them about what you do? And then how are you going to get that person to start working with you or have a conversation with you? So what are you going to give away for free? How are you going to generate a lead magnet? How are you going to get applications? that becomes the next piece. So it's who I serve, content that serves them, and then a way for them to become served.
Mhm.
I call it the
Yeah,
trifecta training. So 3 things I teach on.
cool.
And getting more of your like ideal clients, like how to master getting leads.
Yeah. No, that's great. That again, we'll go back to, we said this a couple times. This is going to help a lot of people because a lot of my audience so far, anyway, even the guests I've had have been combat athletes, veterans who are now a combat athlete or trying to get into coaching themselves. So they're trying to build
Yeah.
their personal brand, most likely from scratch. Um, so where would someone like that start if they have zero automation or really an idea right now?
Yeah. So I can speak on this a little bit. I trained 5 years in jujitsu. So I'll make an example for somebody that is in jujitsu that's trying to sell something jujitsu related. That cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I was a jiu-jitsu instructor and I wanted to sell more one-on-one privates in the local area,
Hmm.
then what I would focus on would be creating content that's educational, talking about how to maneuver XYZ. I would also want to become known for something, whether that be my bottom game, whether that be side guard or half guard. Maybe, I'm a De La Hiva guy. Who knows? But I would make content and become focused on that main thing which I'm teaching. So if
Uh-huh.
I'm teaching all on, side control, half guard, side control, half guard, just this bottom play, top play from the side, basically, then from there, I would then create, let's say, 10 things you have to do to submit from the side. So that becomes the lead magnet. So now I help jiu-jitsu athletes master submissions from the side, let's just say.
Yeah.
That becomes an expert in the thing, right? Like if you went to Gary, no, what's his name? Why is it missing? Why am I slipping my mind? Cool. What's his name? Gordon Ryan. There it is.
Yeah. Gordon Ryan. Yep.
Gordon Ryan. Like he's going to basically be submissions from the back and ankle locks, right? Feet.
Mhm.
So that becomes his thing. No one goes to him because they want better top pressure. Like it's not his game. It's not what he does. Is he good at it? Yes. Is that what he's known for? No. So you go to what somebody's simply known for, which means you have to become an expert in something. And so
Mhm.
it's like if I teach everyday people jujitsu, it's like who? You teaching kids? Are you teaching moms? Are you teaching athletes? If you train kids in all your content, why would a high level competitor work with you? They wouldn't because you train toddlers. At the
Yeah.
same time, why would the let's just say overweight adults are looking to get in shape, but if you trained athletes and all your stuff is the match just covered in sweat and hard rolls, they're gonna be like, I'm absolutely not doing that. So your content has to speak to the person that you serve. And so now I focus on side control and half guard, submitting from the side. And then I make content about that, targeting the people I want to target, let's say athletes. So I show live rolls of it happening. I do live rolls of me breaking down what happened inside this somebody else's video. I'll talk about how to do this, talk about how to do that. I talk about my lead magnet. I talk about transformations of people. Like when I first came in, I couldn't do anything. Now I have 3 go-tos from the side that have helped me win XYZ tournaments. And you just become the master of that thing. But it's consistency of talking, educating, and then sending people to a lead magnet start conversation.
Mhm. Nice. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that. Thank you. That's going to help a lot of people with 'cause some people aren't just good. They're one thing. They're not good at coaches. They're not good at marketing. They're not good at sales. But they can fulfill for sure. But they're missing those
We
first 2 steps.
typically say if we work with somebody that's really good, usually what they say is if I can just talk to them, I can sell them.
Yep.
Great. The problem is that you're not talking to anybody and you're expecting people to just come to you.
Yeah.
Why would I come to you? You have to give me a reason why. It's what you believe, it's what you say, it's what you teach, it's who you've helped. But if you don't show me any of those things, why would I just come knocking at your door because you say you're great?
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's like, I put up a website. Why didn't anybody buy my stuff? It's like, why would they?
Yeah.
Do you that clueless that you think just because you put it up, people are going to buy? Like, you think that you're that good? Like, this is where marketing comes into play. If you don't market your product, who is?
No one. Yeah.
Like, sales don't happen without marketing. So don't put up something that does sales if you don't do anything with marketing.
Right. Yeah. So is that a red flag you'd see with a coach's business that tells you that maybe they're going to plateau or they're not going to have much longevity in this?
Nothing that they do from the outside will determine those things for me. It's the attitude in which they have when they speak is what determines whether somebody's going to have longevity.
Mm.
If you would have asked this guy right here when he was 22, you'd be like, he's not going anywhere. But I didn't quit. It's the mentality that I had that allowed me to 10 years later finally do something. Like 10 years of grinding to generate a 6-figure company.
Yeah.
It's like, it's $8,000 a month and change. It took me 10 years to do over $8,000 in sales. What? Like, I look back at that and go, that's horrific. You suck. But because I didn't quit and didn't give up, and I tried a million different things, it's like, because of all those things, now I can make $1 million selling socks.
Right. Yeah.
It's because the skill set's acquired. It's not the product. It's the skill set acquired to sell the product. Like, I could sell a ton of these. It's just figuring out how would you sell them? What makes it different? How would you market it for it to be great? It's not the product. There's tons of products that do huge numbers that are trash.
Yeah.
Great at marketing. People call these scammers.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. I'll tell you that. Don't call somebody else a scammer because they make more money than you, because you don't understand how they're doing it. That's a really big thing a lot of new entrepreneurs do. That it's like, well, if I was this, I'd do that too. Well, if I had that many followers, I'd be able to do this. Like, no, you wouldn't. Like, you are not as good as you think you are. It takes a long time to become good at something. And that person that's doing it has become really good at it because they spent a lot of time learning it and studying their craft.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you would spend just as much time in learning how to market as you did to take somebody's back and submit them, if you look at the hours, well, of course you're going to be better at submitting somebody than talking to your camera, because you didn't spend 5 hours a week talking directly to your camera for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to suck. And that becomes the issue, is like, well, I'm not good at it. And if they are, well, I'm a better coach though. That's irrelevant. No one cares. You're a really great employee is what you're telling me, because you can't market. So you got to be hired by somebody else to fulfill for their good marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about whether that person is better or not, or a scammer or real. It's like, no, they're just better. Like, they just become better through the reps. And some people are naturally going to be more gifted than others. Are some people just more inclined to be good at jiu-jitsu than others? Absolutely. Your limb length makes a difference. Your trap to ear ratio makes a difference. Your flexibility makes a difference. And some things you can and cannot improve. But that doesn't mean the other person's cheating because they're better at it than you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, discipline is the key here. So, I do want to talk some more about that, because honestly, up until recently, I didn't really know too much about the bodybuilding world. I had some friends who've done it, or their wives did it, and yeah, some people try to do it and they fail, and some people do it and they do really, really well. So I was like really interested in that. So and I'm starting to get fascinated by this, honestly, the discipline. So how
Mm.
does bodybuilding prep sharpen the way you run your company? What actually carries over?
Sure. I think that's a really great question. So bodybuilding is very simple. First off, let's lead with it is not hard. Take hard out of the equation. You know what's hard? SEAL training. You know what's hard? Running a marathon. You know what's hard? Triathlon, swimming, biking 200 miles. That's actually physically hard. Bodybuilding, not hard. You're going to go to the gym and work out regardless. You just have a little bit less energy. But at the same time, it's only 45 minutes. Nothing hard in the athletic world is only 45 minutes. It's more like
Yeah.
4 to 5 hours of
Yeah.
brutal torture.
Mhm.
So, by definition, not hard. Here's the key difference: food. In fact, it's actually easier not to put your fork inside your mouth as much because that requires more calories burning by actually using your fork more.
Yeah.
By definition, still not hard. Is it mentally challenging? Can be, but it becomes challenging whenever you are putting this illusion on what is hard or difficult. What I mean by that is that my emotions attached to a feeling are mine to control. It is black or white. Did you eat the food or did you not eat the food? If you followed the plan your coach gave you, you did everything that you could possibly do. If you did not follow the plan, then you did not do it. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
You cheated or you didn't. You weighed the food to the exact amount or you didn't. You got the exact amount of peanut butter or you also licked the spoon and got an extra XYZ calories. At the end of the day, some of those decisions aren't that big a deal until you lose. And then you go, did I do everything I was supposed to do? No, I didn't. I made it a tad gray. Wasn't black, it was a tad gray. And that's what the person that's a higher achiever has to live with is, did you do all the things that you could do? What do you regret out of this decision? For me, it's very black and white. Either I did the thing or I didn't do the thing. I got the steps or I didn't. I did the cardio. I got the workout. It becomes very clear. But that also allows you to just get very, if I don't have to make any food decisions, that's one less decision fatigue that I have. I tell you right here, if you are at work and you think about what am I going to get for lunch, we're not on the same page. I'm not wasting my thoughts thinking about what I'm eating for lunch.
Yeah.
I hardly think about what I'm going to wear because I only wear like 3 shirts. And that is one less decision that I make. You can tell a lot about a person by going out to eat with them. Do they make a decision on what they're going to eat quickly? Or do they take 15 minutes to review the menu? The one that makes quick decisions usually has their shit together.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's chaos because they can't make a decision, which means that in their day-to-day life, they're not making quick decisions. It's just random stuff. Most of the time, that's like an indicator of behavior. And so notice that, like, you look at a successful person, they're usually like, I want that. It's just, we're making decisions and ripping. I'm not wasting any more energy and time on this. That's essentially how being disciplined makes you operate. But the word really discipline to me is not what's required. Discipline becomes easy when you enjoy the thing you do. Resilience is doing it like with things you don't want to do. So, like, it's really easy to be disciplined with sex. Pretty disciplined. I can just show up every day. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But resilience is, I don't want to do this let's say, run this morning as I'm from a marathon, but I still show up and do it.
Mhm.
And I do it like I love it. I do it like it means something. That's being relentless. And I think that is required for success, not discipline. Because discipline can just float with emotions or motivation. And I took that essentially, I got that idea from Alex Ramosi because for the longest time, I thought like sacrifice and discipline had to be required to have greatness. And to some degree, that is true. But sacrifice is just sacrifice and discipline together, I think, is being resilient. And also think sacrifice is a very hard word to use. But you do sacrifice in every decision you make. You sacrifice something for something else. We usually just use sacrifice as a more of a derogatory word, but really it's just an outcome. It's a cause and effect, realistically.
Mhm.
Like I am not going to go hang out with friends as much if I don't drink. So I'm sacrificing my friendships. It's like, I just don't want to drink. By that, I find new friends.
Yeah. Alignment. Um, so yeah, so your wife competes too. You said that in the beginning.
She did a show last year. Yeah, I don't know if she'll compete again this year though. But
Okay, so she understands things, and how much do you think you lean on her, or she leaned on you for accountability when that motivation dips?
it's a great question. I lean on my wife for zero bodybuilding things. Zero. Here's why. It is not, babe. We can't go out to eat for the next 4 months together, but I'm going to come lean on you and complain about it. You think she wants to hear that?
No, probably not.
So I don't come complain to my wife about anything from a bodybuilding perspective because it is my choice.
Mm,
I chose to do this. I'm also blessed to do this. Like how blessed am I to eat less food and be in a caloric deficit? How blessed am I that I get to choose to do something that's quite difficult? There's a lot of people wish they had food. There's a lot of people wish they
yeah,
could go to the gym. There's a lot of people wish they could do cardio. There's a lot of people that wish a lot of things.
yeah,
I'm blessed the opportunity to try to show up and do this and be my best self. That's how I view that. And that also is another way to actually get you to do something is like actually find the gratitude piece in it and you'll show up a lot different to that task. You have to walk the dog or you get to walk the dog. Which one is it?
right.
That's going to determine how you actually show up for that walk with the dog. Are they dragging you? Or are you smiling as they're just running around and having the ball of their life because it's short?
Yep.
It's a lot of ways to look at it.
Yeah.
So I don't lean on her for that. If I lean on my wife for anything, sometimes it might be a little bit of business related stuff or like maybe things get difficult from a work perspective or I want an opinion of something. I try not to lean too much on her in any of those things. It's not her job to carry me. Those are other guys' jobs. So
Yeah.
if I need something, I'll call a man. Because we're supposed to support each other. Our wife is supposed to help us, not support us. I think there's a big difference there. I think it is
Mhm.
her job to come to us and let us support her. But I don't know that women are as capable of handling the man's emotions as well when the job is to feel secure and don't have fear. And if anything that I'm complaining about or putting fear or doubt in her mind is actually causing worse things to happen that shouldn't be happening in the first place. Because if you came to me with an issue, I'm not going to like be more fearful, but my wife would.
Yeah.
because she's like, well, we're going to be okay. Because if you're saying it to me, it must be a really big deal, right? Oh my goodness, what's happening? What's going on? It's just like, no, I just had to fire somebody. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's just like how, like, they carry what you give them way more than you carry what they give you. I also think that you got a bigger back, you should be able to carry more.
Hmm.
And that's just how I've always kind of just played it out. And I've had issues where I've maybe overshared or shared too much. That's causing, like, I'm making something a bigger deal than it really is, and now I'm making it like it's a really big deal. And then she's now having to carry that because I'm overemphasizing things because I want to vent. It's like how many times a girl came to you and vented something that was like this big, but all of a sudden now it's like a mountain. Really, it's really just a molehill.
Yeah. 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 For
But if
sure.
I'm the provider and I do that, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't ever look at anything as a molehill because if I say it, it must be really important. So because I don't do that all the time, it's a big deal when I do say it. So when I do, I never cry wolf essentially.
Yeah.
So if I ever bring something up, it's because it is a big deal. And at the same time, like, I think a lot of what I do is just lean on God more than my wife for that kind of stuff because she can't fix it. She can just be there for me. But if I lean on him first, then it gives me the wisdom of what to say essentially to her. Um, and I'm just looking for guidance and wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that perfect. So you put man of God in your bio before everything else in business, and you said that's where you lean on him before anybody else or anything else. Um,
I try. I'm
yeah,
far from perfect,
it's
but I
yeah,
try.
it's definitely it's very difficult, especially when you're in that chaotic tornado of just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know, last thing you want, you probably don't want to sit there and slow down and just sit and pray, even though that's probably the best thing really you could do. Um,
I think the hardest thing for people to swallow when it comes to this, and I might get a lot of flack for saying this, as a person that really worried a lot in the past, how can I say that I believe and have faith that God's going to provide if I just worry and stress that it's not going to work out the whole time He's providing?
mm,
Does that mean I only believe when I get to making X amount of money per month? It's like, that's not how that works. And so for me, whenever I get where I feel like maybe some worry or anxiety, I go, hey, do you believe that you're going to be provided for or do you not? So you do have faith. Cool. Why don't you act like it?
mm,
Because you can't worry and have faith at the same time.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yet, that is such a hard statement to say out loud. I don't
Well,
have faith when I worry.
I'm glad you did say that. That's definitely a clip that will be shared quite a bit. I guarantee it. Um, so yeah, I mean, you're keeping your faith central as you're grinding out these sales numbers and prepping for, the stage in what, 5 weeks. What is, how do you do that?
uh, I think it just comes to anything else, just practice. I mean, I'm recently got back in the faith 2 years ago, a little over 2 years now. And before I didn't, and now I do. I think that my amount of anxiety and stress and worry has dramatically dropped. I don't think that my problems have gotten smaller. In fact, I have 4 times as many employees slash teammates. I don't like to use the word employees. Um, I have 350 clients we work with. I have a lot more moving parts, but I am more calm and have more peace now than ever before.
Hmm.
And I know that anytime that something becomes trying, it's me that's saying that it's trying.
Yeah.
There's no circumstance that is good or is bad. I get to determine that. And that's a beautiful, harsh reality.
Mhm. Yeah, I was actually just talking to somebody about that yesterday. There's no such thing as a good thing or a bad thing because, and I've seen that all over the world. Like, I shoot a bad guy. That's good for me. It's good for my teammates. It's good for our safety. It's a bad thing for that organization of that person we just took out or for their family or whatever. Like things are, and then I get sick. That's bad for me. It's good for them. There's things are just what they are. It's how the viewer perceives them.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's good. So with the faith piece, I would imagine you said that you might get some flack for it, which not on my channel. Well, that is not acceptable, first of all. But has faith ever directly changed a business decision or turned someone away or had like soiled a deal?
It's never soiled a deal, but it's definitely enhanced one. Because the truth is that it only soils it if they find out on the call. But that also means that I would have to then never talk about it anything
Yeah,
before you got to the call.
right.
Which means that, am I a Christian if you didn't know it? It's like, just the answer is yes, but would I be a good one? Am I
Yeah.
bold in my faith, spreading the word, sharing the gospel? Right? Um, so I think it's important people know what you believe in. And I think I view it from this perspective. If you try to play neutral, no one will love you, and then no one will hate you. No one can love you without somebody else hating you. I have to give you a
Yeah.
reason to love me, which means it's going to give you a reason for somebody to hate me. And I think a lot of people focus on the 3% of people that are going to hate you. But let me promise you this is that they're not pulling out their credit card regardless. And I think that if you're listening to the person that's spewing hatred, it's to me, that's like, okay, so let's just stay quiet because the devil wants you to.
Yeah.
Or I continue to serve those that need encouragement to be bold in their own faith. We just had a guy get baptized yesterday that he said that me and my head of sales played a significant, large part in him finding Christ because we spoke about it in our content, on our calls, at our events that we have. And I don't do all the things to make money. I do the things so that I can help somebody in another way, to help them find essentially Christ, to be bold
Yeah.
in my faith, for me to be better. And I look at it from this standpoint is like, if I'm bold in my faith, wouldn't God honor that? Wouldn't he send me more people to hear the word if I'm
Mhm.
putting myself out there saying the word? I don't know. That's just how I view it. It's like, if I
Yeah.
tithe, why would he not want to continue to bless me so that I can continue to serve the church? Why would he want to prevent me from spreading his message? Wouldn't he really want to prevent somebody that's spreading a poor message?
Right. Yeah.
To me, that just seems like common sense. I don't know.
Mhm.
Right. But I do know that ever since we started tithing, ever since I have been more bold in my faith, the company's grown. More lives have been changed, and I have felt more at peace than ever. But when I try to live off what you want versus what I want or what he wants, now I start worrying because it's not my conviction, it's yours. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah. What is your faith routine? Do you go to church every Sunday? Do you watch stuff on YouTube? Read the Bible?
When
What's
we're in town, we'll go to church. I've been out of town a lot, so really just catching a lot of the service there. Um, as far as any other type of routine, I just finished up a group called Rooted at church. We were going every Tuesday for, I think it was 10 weeks, which was pretty neat. Got to meet some new people. Um, I try to pray when I can remember. I know that sounds terrible to say it like that, but it's like I try to pray as much as I can. Um, I think the best habits you can create around it are better. I go through seasons of being good. I say good, just being more disciplined with the idea of like, I'm going to open and read scripture, or I'm a part
Yeah.
of a group, devotional or something of that nature. I
Hmm.
think like anything else, it is something that shouldn't, but does go in the same type of pendulum swing.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite verse?
I do. I can't quote it specifically, but it is Philippians 4, not 13. It is 10 through 12. And the gist of it is that um, I am happy with little, or I've had a little, and I've had a lot. I'm happy with either, whether I am full, whether I'm hungry. I have all that I need. And then the 413 is I can do all things through Christ. But
Hmm.
to me, doing all things through Christ is a statement, but the work is 10 through 12. Meaning that whether I lose all my employees and everything tomorrow, or whether I double size overnight,
Yeah.
I'm the same as I am right now. If I lose my house, or I go back to a 1-bedroom apartment in bad part of town, like I've been in both, I'll be just fine wherever that's at. Because I can do all things through Christ.
That was actually one of my. I had a few, but that was one of the main ones that said to myself, going through buds. Actually,
Nice.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I don't think I've really ever told anybody that. So cool, you
I
brought
love
that
it.
up. Yeah. Um, awesome. Thank you. Um, what's um, what's one piece of advice for a coach who's great at coaching, but broke and nobody can find them? I mean, you kind of hit this, but I think this is a good one to hit again.
So repeat the question.
One piece of advice for a coach who's great at coaching but broke because nobody can find them.
um, it's all about conversations. How many conversations are you having per day? Are you waiting for them to come to you, or are you going to them? So if you're an in-person trainer and you're trying to go online, I would be messaging everybody that followed the local grocery store, everybody that messaged the gym or like followed the gym, everybody that went to the local restaurant. And it's like, those are people that are right there that you might have some commonalities with that you could easily sell. Go through the contacts inside your phone. If you would text, email, and call 3 people each per day, you reach out to 9 people a day, you wouldn't have an issue about finding 5 clients this week. Like, that's just 3 a day. But what if you spent like 3 hours a day trying to have conversations with people inside your phone? It's like, oh, but Mike, that requires work. Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay. So what's next for ARFunnel? You got anything big coming up?
We got a lead summit event October 7th through the 9th right here in Dallas, Texas at our headquarters. That's the next big thing that we've got coming along. Basically, it is guest speakers, myself and my team, going to be speaking out, teaching, giving as much information as we can for a very low price of a ticket so that you can essentially take this information and go build your thing. Because if you're like me, when I started online coaching in 2012, it took me 14 months to make $12,000. That's not really enough to pay for chicken, more or less rent And so I had to go get a job. So really just trying to help me and give out as much information as we can to help people. And if they need a system, cool. If they don't, go make the world a better place and a little bit more fit.
Okay. Awesome. And just last thing, I'm assuming best place to find you is your Instagram, and that's how I found you.
Yeah.
Is that where people can find, they could grab that workshop scholarship or look at for information on that?
Yeah. So anything that you want from us, you can come to there, Mike it's at Mike underscore Crowson, CROWSON. Best place to
Mhm.
find me. So we have all the people that we work with, testimonials, and I post 6 times a day. So there's tons and tons and tons of value and education there. Trying to give out as much free stuff to coaches as possible.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Mike. I know you got to get
Yes,
going, so I
sir.
really appreciate your time. Phenomenal information for coaches. For me personally, I look forward to continuing this conversation offline with you. But best of luck to you, and thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you, Alex.